I sent that over. I first time I ever hand drew a Sudoku symbol and
And
the
also,
NASCAR symbol too.
And also Sunoco is going to be your sponsor for life.
Hey, that'd
Well,
be good. They got
hey,
money.
listen,
They got money.
I
They can give you free gasoline and free oil too.
hey, I'll take it.
Right?
Just every time I go, I'd love to do that. That would be awesome. Um, but yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and you know, the championship is happening in Phoenix at 3 p.m. on Sunday, and you can only see it on NBC and Peacock.
There you go.
So I know that now. You saw me on ESPN when? Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
we did have a football acquisition this morning that Pags is nice and familiar with, as C.J. Gardner Johnson has signed with the Bears
Okay.
to get reunited with his old defensive coordinator Dennis Allen.
All right.
Deal is
Apparently last night.
Yeah, the deal is a 1-year deal for the rest of this season with a player's option for next year as well. Financial details of the contract have not been released.
Okay. Hopefully he won't get cut in a week.
Yeah.
The Bears need secondary help. He's not getting cut in a week.
Yeah.
And so does just about everybody right now. So I don't know that that's even.
Yeah, I mean the Seahawks are missing 3 of their 4 starters in the secondary.
And Dallas hasn't had a secondary since 2 years ago. So what are we talking about?
They showed you at the Flyers game.
That's
Nice.
awesome. About
Yeah,
time
Dallas-
they showed my ass. I was on fire last night with the Penguins. The Penguins being in town, and I tell you, I understand that the NHL is going through a little bit of a resurgence on these new referees. Linemen have been upgraded to referees, and new linesmen have been coming in, and it has caused a little bit of interest in terms of what side are they on, anyways. You know what I mean? Like, all right, good, because that's good because my ass is not really that pretty, but my face is. Anyways, and it's just it was a very difficult game in terms of watching them referee it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, I feel like that there's just, and I haven't watched enough hockey across the board to be able to say, okay, yeah, everybody else is feeling the same way too. Everybody else is going through the same problem. But it is a problem because, like, I've never been to an overtime game. I've never watched an overtime game. The Penguins scored, disallowed. The Flyers scored, disallowed. Wow. So it was just, it was weird. It was weird. But we get the win, and I am happy about the win. And my Sixers are also 4-0. I call them my Sixers right now just because they're in Philadelphia. But they also went to overtime yesterday. And lately, it seems like overtime has been the way to go. The Flyers have won their last 2 games in overtime. The Sixers have gone to overtime and won. The Union went to overtime and won. It's an overtime extravaganza.
It's amazing what winning can do to a person's perspective.
Oh, listen. You know what? You know what I didn't win at? Well, first off, I did not watch the 18-inning game, and I did not.
You didn't stay up until 3 in the morning?
Not only did I not stay up, I didn't watch I mean, at one point I saw that it was like 6-2 or 5-2, Maybe 4-2. I don't
Yeah.
even know what it was.
Yeah.
I guess it
No,
was 5-5.
It was pretty
5-2.
close most of the way. Yeah.
And then, of course, it was like, all right, well, now what? What am I going to do now? You know what I mean? I just went to bed. I didn't care because, an airplane could go into that stadium and I still would not care. That's actually not true. I don't want. I don't
I was
want.
going to say that's kind of rough,
I was about to say, damn, that's a PR.
right?
Well,
Yeah, I just could care less about both of these teams. Like I am not a fan in any stretch of the imagination. I would not have been able to go. Like if I was one of those guys that like to go to World Series, and I do have a friend of mine that is out there right now who goes to every World Series, and he goes to the middle three games always. Like he buys tickets to go to the middle three games. I like he's got to be like miserable, but he likes going to them. He's a baseball fan, so I can appreciate the fact that hey, I go to the World Series. I spend that time, however he spends it. I think he spends it with his son, and that's the thing. He can afford
that's
to
cool.
go. That's awesome to go. You know what I mean? Perfect. You know what I mean? Take Junior to the games.
No, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting because, for the first time ever, not ever, but for the first time in maybe his young adult life, my son said, he mentioned it in passing. He thought maybe I didn't even hear it because he didn't repeat it and I didn't mention anything about it right then and there. Because I was in the middle of a conversation somewhere else, like in a different part, with somebody else when he mentioned it. And he's like, I think I'd like to go to more games with you.
Okay, nice.
And so my son is not a sports fan, so, and it was heard, it was heard. I'm like, you want to go to more games with me, huh? Okay. Let's start playing that game. I would love to bring you to more games. Let's, I'll teach you, if you want to. I don't know if he wants to get painted up. He may want to. I don't know if that's something that you do automatically. I think maybe he's got to get a little lay of the land first and understand.
That would be my guess. Is probably just going.
Well, he's been painted up with me before.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
So we've done this. We've done it as a father-son thing.
I got you.
I mean, everybody, and it's a little odd because when the pictures come, they still want to just take a picture with me. It's obviously not taking a picture with him because he's not any social media. He's not the famous one. But I'm like, well, maybe I think, hey, you want to start learning about sports, so you want to start coming with me to games, you got to start to learn about the sports. I would rather not have the distraction of the paint on your face distract you from learning about the sport, because you have to learn about the sport first. You can't just go and randomly paint your face to go to a game because I paint my face. Yeah. I want you to be your own guy. I don't want you to be, you're always going to be my son. So it's never going to be but it's brought up interesting thoughts about this. Like I think about this in a couple of different ways, because obviously I want to be able to bond with my son. He looks at this and, although he's not somebody who spends a lot of time on social media, his friends got to, you know what I mean? I'm sure his friends know that his dad is famous. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not, and I don't consider myself famous in any stretch, but I am a little bit, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing national commercials for NASCAR. Somebody's paying attention.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's not, like I said, I'm not somebody who pats myself on the back. It's like listen, I work just as hard as everybody else does. I'm not, I'm one of those guys that believes luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
For sure.
Like
at the end of the day, if you're going to fail, effort better not be why. right?
That's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. And trust me, I have put in that work. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To get to this point. The only reason why people say they see me everywhere is because I'm everywhere.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Quite literally. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication to that craft. But again, like I said, I'm not any different than anybody else who goes to work every day. You know what I mean? You got to
I
go to
mean,
work every day and do that. So
that's the thing. Like this is our job, and I mean, I think that's one of the things that always makes me laugh is, you know, they assume everybody's like stat guy who just shows up on a show, but like for the rest of us, it's a lot of work. Sorry,
yeah,
Justin, just catching strays, but
I lost say, damn. Go back to the white chair. See, that's the problem. You're not in the white chair. Go back to the white chair, Palpatine.
You're muted just because you keep typing and it's loud. But
My white chair is gone.
Hey,
it sounds like he's typing like 35 words a minute, but it's only like 6 keys.
I know
No,
he's
no,
actually just drumming his fingers on the
No,
keyboard.
I'm typing up my column quick for CJ Gardner Johnson so I can push that through.
Ah,
So if I mute myself again, I'm just gonna finish it quick.
Does the son have a mohawk as well, or does he just have normal hair?
No, he, you know, interestingly enough, the best way I can explain his hairstyle is a cross between John Lennon and you know, maybe Paul McCartney. You know what I mean? It's got kind of long, but just kind of in the front, not necessarily in the back. He doesn't have like long hair. It's just
I got you. Yeah.
he's got that wave to it and stuff like that. He's you know, he's a 16-year-old kid, so he's the identity is still trying to be found, and it's hard. Like I didn't grow up with a famous dad. I did grow up with a mother who knew everybody. You know what I mean? My mom knew a lot of people. You know what I mean? And because of the places that she worked, she was always around athletes. So that's why I say I was always with athletes all the time. You know, very recently, I was with Ed Snyder's granddaughter, and now she is 27 years old, and just got married. I got to see how he engaged and proposed to her, which was absolutely gorgeous and stuff like that. All that stuff, fun stuff. Obviously, it's all done to the nines. That being said, I mean, I got to talk to her about knowing her grandfather and knowing her aunt. I didn't know who was her parents, so it was possible that it was. I mean, there was only a boy and a girl, so I knew that it was a 50-50 chance that she was going to be, her aunt's daughter, but it wasn't the case. It was Jay Snyder's daughter. But and we got to share some stories, and she's like, "Wow, you're really an OG. Like you go back, like I go back to the Spectrum." And I told like growing up with the Flyers, the reason why the Flyers are I have that love with the Flyers is because at 2 years old I was watching Flyers games. You know what I mean? And paying attention, and like I said, I don't remember them winning the cup, but it's all that was part of the fandom that gets embedded into somebody. Most of us learn about sports as we grow up and start playing them. I learned about sports by watching them all the time because I was there all the time. My mother would work every Flyers and Sixers game, so I stayed up to watch them, thinking that I was going to see her on TV.
Sure, makes sense.
You don't know you don't know any better when you're 2 or 3 years old. So, and now I'm the guy who paints his face for a living and goes to sporting events. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I had to force my way into the media. Who's this guy? You know what I mean? Why is this guy everywhere? What is he doing?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, similar to me in that way is I can write. I don't particularly enjoy sports writing, but everywhere you see me go is because I've just annoyed them enough that they're like, yeah, fine. Just get over here, I guess. Just
when I write a story,
persistence is key. Obviously I also write, but I mean, cause you have to, but at the same time, how I've ended up in, covering teams and stuff is I just annoy them until they're just like, you know what? If you will stop communicating with me, you can come.
You know what though? But that's how you got to force your way in the door.
For sure.
Nobody's going to open the door for you. You gotta sometimes sneak through the cat hole. You know what I mean? 100%. It's like it's however you get in, you get in. Like I said, and it's not easy. It's not simple. It's
especially when you're trying to do it outside of the legacy media route, right? Because they are very primed to only allow legacy media in. So whenever you're trying to do it a different way, it is swimming upstream the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And Dustin probably gets a good idea on this just because he's a writer, and being a writer opens a lot more doors.
It does.
I mean, for instance, there is a guy who is covering the Eagles, and he goes on Delaware Online. And if you look up Delaware Online Eagles beat writer, and you watch some of his Instagram videos, it is like watching let me figure this out. This. Just that. Just like this. It's about as boring as a popcorn fart. And it's like, oh my God, like how can you continue to send this guy out there to do that? Mm-hmm. Have him stop. Right. Have him write the stories. Have somebody else do that report. It doesn't matter. Do the report from, where you're showing a couple of clips. Do the report from your basement. Pay me to do the report. I'll do the report. It's like anything other than this guy, but like he gets 6 likes, and I'm like, well, no wonder you guys are doing so well. You know what I mean? Because it's like you've got literally a piece of cardboard talking about the Eagles.
So it's funny because it reminds me of when people in media were losing their minds. Stephen A. Smith, primarily, when Dylan Gabriel
all the time, though.
When Dylan Gabriel came out and was like, "Oh, you guys are entertainers, right?" We are, right? Because we're putting out facts, we're covering sports, we're doing all of those things. You're doing all of the journalistic requirements for that end of it. But if you're not entertaining, nobody's going to watch, right? So even though guys like Stephen A. were mad about, they're like, oh, we're in competition. Yeah, you're in competition in your field. Nobody's denying that. But it is an entertainment field, right?
Yeah.
Because if you are boring, if you're that piece of cardboard, ain't nobody watching.
That is 100% correct. And, it's like, I get it. I understand. And, interestingly enough, as I'm seeing that who's the chillest Eagles player I've met, Hollis Thomas and I have started to become close friends. You know what I mean? And I will say that beyond every other player that I've met, he's just a chill guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't like the bullshit. He's not like he likes to bullshit with somebody, but he doesn't like bullshit. He doesn't like drama. He wants to talk with you. He wants to find out a little about you. We'll talk sports and then but what he likes, and what he don't like, and that's that. End of story. That's how we go. And it's interesting because the hardest part, and we were having a conversation last night, and the hardest part about the difference between what I'm doing and what he's doing is that he was an athlete and I am not.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference. It changes all of the dynamic because a lot of his doors are open because he was an athlete. Now, there's a reason why you don't see Jeff George on a bunch of different shows.
Sure.
Because although he was an athlete, he was an asshole. And so he's miserable and nobody wants him around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair point.
No, I mean, like, you got to be a likable guy. You also have to be charismatic when the light turns on, right? Now, being a former athlete will absolutely get you some opportunities. You still have to maximize those opportunities. Like,
Right.
if you're bad in front of the camera, nobody's going to want you back.
Exactly.
Correct. You know, it's that's why you see some athletes try their hands at, you know, broadcasting and then you don't hear from them again. Or they're like the E team.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, they're on
team
the
that
Ocho.
is yeah. They're covering the Jets games. You know what I mean? Because nobody's watching those games in the first place.
Yeah, or they're down to ESPN Radio Charlotte. You're just like, oh, like, ain't nobody gonna hear you.
Well,
but
you get the practice. But that's where you start to. That's where you got to start to work your way back up again.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like when you're in a major media market like Philadelphia, like, I mean, I got the hate already. I've been through all of that. So once you get above that, and once you start, you know, because it's like waves crashing on top of you over and over and over again. And once you start to get past, like when you're in Lost and you're finally past where the waves are crashing, and now you're floating back out to sea again, looking for whatever is out there, that's when things start to, okay, now I'm here. Now there's a big ocean in front of me. Now what? You know, and hopefully you find the boat. Sometimes you sink. But I mean, you got to get past that point. You got to start bobbing. You know what I mean? You got to get your head above water to try to make that all happen. Going back to the original point of all this is that I've done all of this. You can't give that to somebody else. They have to earn that themselves.
Yeah, you got to figure your own way through it. Because, I mean, even if he wants to paint up or whatever, he's going to have a different personality than you. So he's going to have to figure out what his niche is in that market.
That is correct. And, you know, he's at a little bit of a disadvantage because his mother, although she was very supportive of me being the Philly sports guy, was not very supportive of me screaming in the house during sporting events. So he did not get to enjoy what it was like to the highs and lows of me yelling at a television because I always had to go watch the game somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because I was scaring the kids. I wasn't scaring the kids. I was having them grow up similar to the way I grew up, not the way she grew up. And because of that, they have not been.
There's nothing better than a good sports house where you and your pops yell at the TV at the same time.
Right.
I do remember those days, man. Those were good times. And my mom, you know, she probably the same thing. You're yelling too much, but I gotta tell you, those are the best times. Me and pops, you know, we'd be yelling at each other back and forth. I was a Cowboys fan. They all were Oilers fans, so we'd all be talking.
Okay.
But I loved it. I mean, it was good stuff, man. Honestly, I mean, it's kind of a weird male bonding moment that most females. And I'm not trying to be, you know, gender sexist, whatever the word is.
I'm not trying to be, but I'm gonna be.
But I'm gonna be a little bit. I mean, but it is true though. I mean, I'm not saying that all females.
It's a rite of passage.
I don't understand most things that go on between females. I don't understand most things between females. Just like they don't know most things that go on between men. I mean, we're just the way we think is different. The way we see things is different.
Yeah, my wife always yells at me when I'm yelling at the TV, and she's like, "They can't hear you," and all of a sudden, the next play they do exactly what I told them to do. Like, they obviously did hear me because they just did what I told them to do.
Somebody heard it. I'll tell you though, you know, speaking of people, I know you're talking about sports athletes that have gone on to do podcasting. Like McAfee, man, that dude, I love McAfee. That's the dude I kind of relate with a lot. I like his style, I like the way he does it, but he has really reinvented himself after the game of football. I mean, football, I think, opened up some doors for him in terms of popularity and him to get his voice out. But man,
He actually reinvented him. He actually reinvented himself when the XFL came back in the COVID year, and they went to like they had the sideline reporters, kind of reporting like mid play. McAfee like just took that job and ran with it. Like there was, I remember either the first or the second game of the year when it was the Arlington Renegades versus the Houston Roughnecks. Middle of the punt, McAfee's just got the microphone. And he's like running down the sideline trying to catch up to the head coach. And as the head coach is there, he's like, "Coach, what are you trying to see on this play?" And the coach is like, "Give me a second, McAfee." And then as soon as this play is over, he goes over to Pat McAfee. Like he took that sideline reporter job in the XFL and just ran with it.
Yeah,
no,
but
I mean, he's
but
incredibly
those are the things though.
He's incredibly charismatic on screen though.
He is.
Like, he's entertaining to like he embodies that entertainer mentality, which is why he's part of the WWE and stuff. I mean, like
that's exactly it, because beyond everything else, he's a Pittsburgh guy, who grew up with championships happening. You know what I mean? Like the Steelers may not have been that great at that time, but whatever. But do you remember back in the day when Manning was on the team and he was yelling at Manning to do something about something, and Manning's like, "Dude, you're a punter. Shut up." You know what I mean? like that was that, but he was that guy then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you don't become that guy. You are that person, and you have to find your outlet.
Yep.
So when and it became a thing because he made it a thing. When you think about the Joe Rogan Experience,
sure, and
you think about like where that guy has gone, he was a guy who got punched in the head who started to do mushrooms. That's what happened. And all of a sudden he had an idea, and he's well spoken. You know what I mean? Yeah. He thinks intelligently. And what I mean by that is that when he talks on camera, it sounds like a thought out thought, that it's not blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And so it's just, it actually comes out coherent, and whether you agree with it or not, it forces you to take the side on whether you agree with that statement or not, and then you can react accordingly. So that is not the easiest thing to do in general. Yeah. It's like, and it's funny because yesterday I was put into that position again. Did not have a script, did not know what I was doing. You guys, like I said, you saw my face. Here was the notes I got. Be there at 11, have your face in the NASCAR colors of blue, yellow, and red. And I'm like, you put my face in those colors, and I'm going to look like a bird, like a cardinal of some sort or something. You know what I mean? Like or a blue jay. I don't know how that's all going to work out there. Let's go my way and see if it works out. And it did. Like I said, I hand stenciled Sunoco on this side of my head. Or maybe it was this side of the head. I don't know. No, it was definitely this side of the head.
Well, it looked good. I was telling Bo that the other day. I was like, man, I don't know how he does that kind of artwork in a mirror, because I couldn't. That's just not.
And then Sunoco. So I had to have. I'll tell you, I did have to cheat because somebody had to write NASCAR in Sunoco because I can't do it backwards.
Right.
But once it's there, I got to then paint over it and make it part of the thing. So it was. As I said, it sufficed. Is it the best thing? Is it like an airbrush? No. Is it whatever? No. You know what I mean? But it's me, and it sufficed, and it
could have been. And then crazy faces. I gave you that number.
You gotta talk without your hands in your mouth.
And I had to write the script.
I was trying to keep the beard out of my mouth.
And I had to write the script on the fly, and then
crazy faces.
And then after that, like it was supposed to be from 12 to 4. My call was at 11, so it wound up being from 11 to 2. At that point, I went home, showered, changed. Flyers game is at 6. I stopped by there again And actually, like I kind of went through. They're like, "Oh shit, you're somebody completely different now." And all while this is happening, people are coming up and wanting to take pictures with me.
Sure.
So which makes it fun and makes it fun for them. But this was a real pit crew.
Yeah.
For the oh my god, they're gonna kill me because I don't remember this. The 1, the 88, and the 99 car.
Okay.
That's on the team. Like, top something. But they were it was a great crew. It was a great crew. It was great working with them yesterday. It was a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Because I get to drive around. I was driving around in circles all day long with a camera guy in the car, and
Nice.
and doing stuff like trying to figure out. Had my little checkered flag that I got to wave.
Are you talking Trackhouse pit crew?
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Trackhouse pit crew for Connor Zilish.
Yeah, they came up from Charlotte.
Yeah.
And they're going out there for the championship.
Yep, Connor Zilish. Yep.
So it was like really cool. Now I have a rooting interest because I know the guys.
Why
You know what I mean? It's not like
come up with the number one car
What?
Chastain.
for track. You said Trackhouse Racing, right?
Yeah, Trackhouse.
Trackhouse.
Yep.
Right. So it's not Chastain.
Ross
Chastain.
Chastain. Yeah, Ross Chastain, Connor Zilish, Shane Van Griesberg, Helio Castroneves, and they have a rotating car, which is the number 99. So Trackhouse has got 5 cars they work with.
I
The
got
company
it.
itself.
These guys worked with the number 1 car, the 88, and the 99.
Yeah, so the 99
that's how
is
they-
99 is the rotating driver that they just fill in when they need a select driver, and then the 88 is Shane Van Giersbergen, and then 1 is Ross Chastain. But it's all the same company for Trackhouse.
So yeah, and that championship is at 3 p.m. It's being held in Phoenix, but you can only see it on NBC or Peacock.
Did you get to meet any of the drivers?
No,
Because
the drivers.
Shane Van Giersbergen, the one that drives number 88, is from Australia. This is I think his first or second year in NASCAR this year. He ended up winning, I think, 4 races in a row at one point early in the season. And the first 3 road courses, he won all 3 road courses because that's what he used to do in Australia. The guy's the road course king.
So that's why he's probably in the championship.
Yeah, well, if you win 1 race, you automatically qualify for the playoffs. And then there was the 1 road course in the playoffs, which I believe he won that. So you win that, then you automatically put yourself in the Final 4 at that point.
So he knows how to turn right very well.
He knows how to turn right, left, wherever you need him to turn, he can turn.
Yeah, but it's usually left turns, and there's always he doesn't win those tracks. He wins when you turn left and right.
Yep. Ross Chastain's been a good driver for a while now. He's just always been bad luck. Last year, he was winning in total points most of the year, and then crashes out the first round of the playoffs and gets eliminated 2 races later. Just because you crash out in that playoff round, you're really hurting your chances to get through to the next round.
Right.
Because otherwise, he had a shot to win it last year.
The great part about all of this is that, again, I'm just learning about NASCAR. So I have a lot to catch up on. Mm-hmm. But that being said, what makes that even better is that there are a lot of people that have no idea about NASCAR. People that know about NASCAR know about NASCAR. Mm-hmm. But the people that don't know about NASCAR don't even know how to start to figure out about NASCAR. And that's where I come in. Because I do speak intelligently. And the questions I ask are questions that other people will ask. Because I don't know. And it's oh, why is it that you do things this way? I understand, why is it so hard? What is it that's causing some of these things that occur? Now, I know that Bo could probably answer a lot of this because he was in the industry. You know what I mean? But when you don't have anybody asking those questions and you don't know what it is you're watching, you don't learn. You switch the channel.
Yeah,
of course.
And the fact that I am going to now be able to cover the All-Star race.
Oh, that'll be awesome, though.
That's going to be friggin' incredible. You know what I mean? It's I have to do some homework. Obviously, I'm going to have to learn a lot about NASCAR in a very short amount of time.
When is the All-Star race?
May 24th, I think.
What track is that?
Dover.
Dover. Are you gonna be down in the pits, or are you gonna be actually like in like the seating area?
I'm going to be everywhere. Like they liked what I did so much. That's how I think I got this spot. Because I was up with the spotters. I did go down into the pits. I was in victory lane. I was in the rooms listening to the headphones and stuff like that. And when you get to show people all of this stuff, I was right next to the track with rubber hitting me in the face. You know what I mean? Those are things that are cool. Like everybody, like I didn't know how it was going to be received getting painted up for NASCAR. And it got over well received. Like they were super excited about the fact.
They started a new trend with that because NASCAR is a very southern oriented sport where like you see the people just kind of dress the way they dress. You could start a new trend where people in NASCAR now are painting their faces.
Well, they usually put the numbers on their face.
I was gonna say, there's plenty of face paint if you go to a race.
That's one of the that's the only sport that Melanie really gets on me is race car driving because her uncle and her cousin are dirt track race. They still do dirt track racing, and so she tells me all the time about racing and things like that. So that's one of the things that she gets me on. So I think she would love that part. But yeah.
So it's
I love dirt track racing. That's a lot of fun. Bo, did you do dirt track racing?
I never did dirt. Yeah, I never did dirt track.
Dirt track racing is fun.
Yeah, it's
again, it's one of those things that nobody
I didn't have. I didn't have the funding to do some of the dirt track.
Yeah, her uncle and her cousin, man, they do it all. They're based out of Dallas, and that's all they do. A lot of dirt track racing all over the damn place.
Joe,
it's interesting.
You don't like racing. I feel like you're required to like Formula One.
Yeah, F1 or even the sports car series. The videos that I was sending you guys a couple weeks ago with like the Porsches and the Lamborghinis and things like that. Those kind of races they do all the time, like out in Italy and that.
Yeah. And like I said, speaking of Formula One, I'm having a conversation with them.
Well, I would imagine this opens up Formula One and Indy.
Right.
So and HRA also because it's again when you have somebody who's interested to learn and has a following that gets eyes, like because ultimately it's like I know when I sat in one of those NHRA cars, it was funny because there was a musician who was playing and I started the car and I'm like, row, row, row. Well, he couldn't play anymore because nobody was hearing it because everybody was hearing the car, but it got so many views because I'm in the car. I'm like, yeah, here I am, and it was just so loud and so awesome, like that you could feel the power of you stepping on the gas. It's just like, I want to do that. I want to do that one time, but it's not as simple as that.
No.
You don't just get to go and step on the gas and it just goes. It's not an automatic.
Nope.
Brad was asking about everybody's favorite horror movies for Halloween. What is y'all's? Mine is Rob's. Anybody Rob Zombie, Thousand Corpses, anything like that? I'm all about that. What is y'all's favorite Halloween stuff?
It's a random switch, but okay.
Well, no, he asked
it a while back. I was just waiting for a stop to ask you guys because I am curious to find out what you guys' horror movies are.
Well, you know what? I don't really have a horror movie. There was a horror movie that I saw that I loved, and I have not seen it since. And I don't know if it was removed or taken off, but it was called the premise was that these guys got shut in a hotel, and it was like this mother and son or mother and kid that she was babysitting or whatever, and that the whole hotel was starting to get rabies, like rabies.
That's nuts.
Okay, that's
and it was a really cool movie, and it was like scary, but I can't think of the name of it, and I've only seen it that one time. It was a great movie. I would have loved to have watched it again, and I can't ever find it, and I feel like they took it off the airwaves completely.
Yeah, mine would either be the It movie with Stephen King's It, or Sinister 1 and 2.
I haven't seen Sinister.
Sinister's
That sounds interesting.
Sinister's a great. So the premise of Sinister is Ethan Hawke is the main character in Sinister, and he buys a house that a family was killed in before he bought the house because he's actually writing a book on the family that was killed in the house. He ends up going into the attic, finding these old film strips like in a box, and all these film strips are previous families that got murdered in a certain way they were murdered. And then as the movie goes on, he's connecting the dots. So the people that got murdered in the house he moved into lived in the house where the family before them got murdered. That family lived in the house before them that got murdered. It was like a pattern where this family moves into a house, gets murdered. Somebody buys that house, moves, gets murdered in the next house they moved. In the movie just continued that way, and then it picked up with the second Sinister doing the same thing.
Let me ask you guys, have any of you guys ever seen it? And Melanie got me to watch this. I would have never watched this had it not been for Mel making me watch it. But after I watched, I was like, damn, that shit was crazy. Have any of y'all watched Rosemary's Baby?
What am I doing?
He just sitting in that damn chair.
And Rob,
I told you to get the white chair.
What the hell is that? What did I do to anybody today?
Rob,
no, I told you at the beginning of this.
Some of these questions I don't bring on. Like, obviously, the movie one I didn't bring on because we were in the middle of a conversation.
I don't have a comment thing pulled up on the side of my screen where I see all the comments coming in. I only see them usually when both.
I told you to put the white chair. If you're the white chair, you wouldn't be having this damn issue.
Rob, it's because Dustin's not actually engaged in the show. He's just watching him do work.
And it's not called Wreck. It was more called Quarantine or something like that. And I'm sure there's been a couple of movies named Quarantine, but it's something of that nature.
The Denver Broncos just signed Mercedes Lewis to their practice.
Look, I'm gonna tell you. Hey, hold on. Mercedes Lewis. You're reaching. If you're getting Mercedes Lewis, you're reaching. Yeah, you're reaching. Hey, listen, if you've not, I gotta tell you, if you've not seen Rosemary's Baby, in the comments too, if you've not seen Rosemary's Baby, it's based on, it's like Italy based, or not Italy, it's a European based horror, but it's about this girl who moves into this brownstone with all these people, all these high rich people. But all these people in this building are a cult. They're a satanic cult, but you don't know it. You have to figure it out as the movie goes fucking along. And the premise is she gets impregnated by Satan. By the way, yes, you see Satan actually impregnating her. And then the baby is born, and this cult raises the baby.
Your wife for watching porn all the time.
What the hell kind of movie are you watching at home?
I was with
you. It's not porn. It's not porn. I'm telling you, it's not porn. But you've got to see this. I mean, it's very psychological. It's not the gory. It's psychological. Porn, man.
I never told Dexter.
It has one sex scene, right? I'm telling you, hey, if you want to see a movie that will absolutely freak you out, if you watch Rosemary's Baby, you will be freaked out. It's very engaging. You have to think about it. You have to watch it. You can't just walk away from it. But by the time the movie's over with, you're going to be like, damn, that was fucking nuts. It really is. It's very psychological, but it's crazy. I would challenge you. I'll tell you. You watch it one time, you'll be like, damn, Jay was right.
I feel like it's a cross between Eyes Wide Shut and Hellboy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and the thing about it is, the girl has no idea, right? The girl has no idea that it's like what's going on. Nobody, she has no idea. I mean, it's just like all these random things. The doctors are in it. I mean, they're giving the baby all these different juices, and then they're telling her that it's great stuff, but really it's just the way they feed Satan's spawn, basically. And then at the end of it, you see an upside down cross over the crib where the baby's at, and the baby's like half. It's crazy. You got to watch it. I'm telling you, it's nuts.
And like as scary movies go, like The Ring was okay initially. I mean, it's like when you think about like I like real fear, not like boo. You know what I mean? Like I want something that's like I have an interest maybe in that one thing that's on. I think it's on Netflix right now, where it's like talking about who the real Michael Myers was.
Yeah.
Like when they did that, where the guy had his mother's and was wearing his mother's face and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. Like it's like that like true fear stuff. That would appeal to me. I'm not a real scared guy. I'm not going to haunted houses and things like that. I just don't. But like 1406, room 1406, like that's a cool one, like a psychological,
No, I mean that's what was great about like Silence of the Lambs, right?
Yeah,
that is that psychological thriller. Yeah, and Hannibal, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what gets me more. I like the psychological stuff that's in the thrillers more than just bullshit gory like Friday 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. Nothing wrong with them. But the psychological aspect for me really isn't there. It's just a lot of gore, but not real psychological. Like when you watch Rosemary's Baby, there'll be things that when you're watching it at the beginning of it, it doesn't make sense. But when you watch towards the end of it, you're like, oh my God, you go back to the first part where what you saw in the first part didn't make sense. Now it makes sense. And it's just crazy. It's engaging. The whole thing is just engaging. Robert knows. Robert saw it. Yep.
So B movies are always funny. So there will be random times that I will seek out the 1-star movie, right?
Sharknado!
Weirdly, that has more stars than that. No, so like
Sharknado 4!
There we go. Yeah, no, like the fact that there's multiple.
Man, I watched the first 3 seconds of Sharknado. And I said no.
Because if you watch a 2-star or something, like it's just going to be terrible. Right. But if you watch a 1-star, it's so next level bad that you'll probably still watch the whole thing because you'll end up making fun of it more than anything. But then you'll
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I mean, I watched one where it was like a tornado and the tornado was like a scribble on a piece of paper in the background. I'm like, this clearly was a high budget film.
Well, that's like a movie that my daughter likes, and like she's 7, so she likes all these scary movies, which more power to her. But I can't even think of the name of it. But it was you would know based on like if you knew the title, you know what I'm talking about. But it's the nickname of the movie is the Mickey Mouse Killer, and it's a guy that wears like a Mickey Mouse costume and he kills people like inside of a indoor like fun center, like an amusement park arcade type of thing. But that's like a psychological type movie too, because it's like they get locked into this building for a birthday party, and as soon as they get locked into this building, like one person keeps dying like every hour, and everyone's trying to figure out who's killing who, and they keep blaming each other, and then eventually they find out that the owner of the building that actually rented out the building for these people is the one that's actually killing them. My daughter just likes it because it's got Mickey Mouse in it. I'm like, if you're happy that Mickey Mouse is killing people, you got some problems.
And Rob, I disagree with this. The best horror app that I've found personally is my Wells Fargo bank account. Like that one's scary.
And I tell you what, if you go back and watch like Alfred Hitchcock movies, like some like The Birds, like that was a good one. Like something like that.
Amityville Horror was good too.
Yeah.
The original one I think was
Amityville Horror was good. Yeah.
Stephen King movies that he's really involved in tend to be good.
Yeah. Like the original It was way better than the new It because Stephen King was more involved with that original one.
Correct. Yeah.
Misery. Misery is real.
Hey, I like Stephen King. I think Stephen King is good, but Rob Zombie was amazing.
Is it on Amazon Prime on Friday? Well, thank God I have it. I could watch it, but I may be there.
How do you like your rookie that you have?
He is. You know what I do like about this team? That they have the stamina for the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
First 2 quarters, they come out okay. They come out great. They may have the lead. Third quarter, they lose it. They lose the lead. They get down a lot. Fourth quarter, they come back out of nowhere. The fact that they're 4-0, you can't. They are what their record says they are right now.
That's what it is with the Bulls too, because the Bulls are 3-0 right now. But the thing with the Bulls are they don't have like that standout superstar that a lot of these teams have. And Kobe White, who's their leading scorer, is out for another couple of weeks with a quad injury. The Bulls have 9 players averaging at least 10 points right now. That's what you call like overall balance, where you don't know what player is going to score. So first game of the year, you had Nikola Vucevic had 28 and 19. Then the next game, Josh Giddey has 21, 13, and 12. And then game 3, they had like 4 players with at least 18 points, and Ayo Dosunmu has 21 points in 23 minutes off the bench. Like the Bulls have so much balance right now, you don't know what player is going to go off from one night to the next, and that actually makes the team better too, because you can't key in on that one superstar. It's like we have 9 guys that are scoring at least 10 points. Like we got to pick a person here and hope they have an off night.
So, but not only that, but like same thing with the Sixers. You're right. Like obviously, Embiid's only been playing half a game, so it's like okay.
You guys still have Maxey though, where Maxey's
been doing it. But Kelly Oubre has been really like had a little bit of a resurgence there. Edwards is doing okay. I have no idea who this Grimes kid is, but he actually does pretty well too.
He was with the Raptors, I think, last year.
So it's like he's. Like these guys are playing well together right now.
Yeah.
And I like how they play well together without Embiid on the floor, which is a big deal.
I think the Sixers bench is number 2 in the NBA behind the Bulls, because the Bulls bench is averaging, I think, 52 or 53 points a game is what the Bulls bench is averaging, and I think the Sixers are around 45. And if you have a bench that's scoring 40 to 50 points a game, you're going to be winning a lot of games, because that just shows you how much overall depth you have.
Right. But the really scary movie is since we're flip-flopping all over the place today.
Scary movies aren't supposed to be talked about till Friday on Halloween.
Yeah, I don't know. It took a weird turn because Jay decided to squirrel out of nowhere.
No. I saw the comments a while back, but I was trying to find a moment to ask you about it. That's what it wasn't that I went squirrel. I was just waiting for their time to interject it in. Squirrel. By the way, Captain Spaulding, Robert, that was my favorite Rob Zombie character.
That's who I get most. If you want to put me, the Philly sports guy, next to a character like a scary character, Captain Spaulding are the two that, that's how I get mixed with.
And Dustin, since you've ignored this twice, where can people find your stories? Your writing.
Yeah. I don't have the comments. Like normally I have that comment.
I put it on the screen twice. You just
I didn't see it.
Just go to Pornhub. That's all his writings are.
Pretend like for this hour you're on a show or something.
Yeah, you can find my stuff on ChicagoSportsHQ.com. So I just put one up on CJ Gardner Johnson signing with the Bears. So that one should be up within like an hour.
A Chicago take from Green Bay.
Exactly.
And I'll be seeing Dustin here very soon. Again. Coming up.
When?
Monday Night Football. Dun 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 dun.
Oh,
hey.
The 11th.
That was my wife. That for the Land of the Thousand Corpses. That was one of the costumes that we won.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Dude, it was pretty cool, man.
I like that costume. I remember seeing that one.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Yeah,
one.
Hey, that was our Rob Zombie outfit.
I was gonna send you when you showed us that. I was gonna send you something because that reminded me of a character from a movie, not a Rob Zombie movie either. A character from a movie, and I just couldn't picture it in my head. That's why I didn't ask it. But I'm trying to think of the movie that reminds me of. Because there is a movie that I think it might be a Rob Zombie movie, but there is a character in the movie that looks exactly like that.
Looks like what?
Hey, you know what the crazy thing about that was? If we actually went to a trunk or treat here in the neighborhood, and so and everybody puts their trunks out, and then you compete for door prizes, things like that. Who gives out the most candy? Me and Mel did that. We sat there next to the truck, and I swear to God, they was so bad. The kids wouldn't even come down to that end of it. And the lady goes, yeah, you and your wife apparently are too damn scary. We'll give you a gift card because you won, but I need you to leave so the kids can enjoy. It was crazy, but them kids were, it was nuts. It was good time. But anyway,
we had a couple high schoolers that got in trouble by the police officers the other day for our trunk or treating. Because those bowls of candy that have like the fake hand, like when you reach into the candy, the hand comes down. They actually had a real hand.
Oh, that's great.
Also, when the kid grabbed the candy, they actually grabbed the kid and pulled him towards the back of the pickup truck.
Well, I can see how that could be a problem. Yeah.
Man, I like how she said J Pags and Bo are the devil's rejects and it's a victim.
He's just a slow moving guy.
So, did I do something to Rob, Bo? Because he is just peeing off on me today.
No, I think he's just commenting on the fact that you weren't doing anything on the show. That's.
I have been for a while now. It was only like the first 10, 15 minutes because I had to finish that up.
I didn't told you 4 times to switch the damn chair. You just don't listen to me, man. As long as you're in that whatever kind of crazy pattern chair you're in.
I sold my chair.
Huh?
I sold my chair.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You sold the Vader Palpatine chair?
I sold my chair to my brother-in-law because he has a bad back and he needed the chair that I have is good for like your back and posture. So I sold it to him.
It's not just Rob. Everybody's piling on.
Apparently.
Man, listen. Now, hold on. Now, Donna told me to watch my language the other day. So if Donna's getting on to you, you better take it serious. You better get involved in the program.
All right. Well, and that's our show for today. Thank you for watching, or maybe not watching, because.
Thanks for playing along for sure. We are going to get out of here. We'll see you all tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.